It's 11:53. I'm just getting started. I'm so tired. Been a long week fixing Kawasaki's. And now it's Friday and it's time to work on a Honda. So what we're going to do with this machine is I want to get all the plastics racks off, and then I can get to everything, and we're going to pressure wash it, get it really good and clean. It looks like she's been splashing through an awful lot of mud. There's a lot of vegetation up in it. The front differential has got a lot of grass. Stupid flies. Anyway, so yeah, we want to get all that stuff cleaned up, and the best way to do that is to get the plastics off. And I want to hand clean those, get all the years of grime off. And anyway, then the racks need to get cleaned up. There's a kink in the rack up here that's got to get fixed. So anyway, yeah, it'll probably be a good time for Ray to sandblast some racks. Yeah, it's a good time for all. All right, so I'm keeping all the bolts, and I'm gonna line them up, make sure I don't lose any. And all right, one more bolt. No, I take that back. There's a couple more back here, but a couple of 6 12 millimeters, I think, in the middle, and 2 10s out here holding the plastic. All right, there's another one. Yeah, there's some manure on the tire here, so it definitely has the look of being on a farm. I don't know that, but kind of looks that way. The machine does not run because this electronic shifting thing. No thanks, no. Never was a good idea and still isn't. Throw all the technology and time at you that you want. It's always a bad idea. So anyway, it's stuck in both neutral and reverse at the same time. So whatever that means. I'm sure it needs a lot of things like air filter, spark plug, fluid change, all of that good stuff. Use an impact, but I can't seem to find one. I don't know where it went. That's all right. It'll turn up. All right, one last bolt, and the rack should be off. Is out. So let's see if we can get the rack off. That comes off very nicely. All right, so you guys can see the big kink right here. It doesn't really show up that good on camera. It doesn't seem to. There, yeah, you can kind of see how it's further up and a little bit back from where it ought to be. So we can fix that, no problems. All right, well, that looks different already now, doesn't it? Hey, we can get the seat off. Let's take a look at the seat cover. Oh, I thought that was a hole. That's just like a scuff, that light spot. Yeah, looks to be in pretty good shape. I believe it's most likely the original seat cover. How many miles does this have? I don't know. It's 3,732. So she's got a couple miles on it, but the motor should be just fine, I would expect. Let's see here. Alright, well, I think I'll get set up and we'll start pulling some plastic rivets, and let's get this apart. Alright, well, a lot of them are gone already, I see. Now, normally, you know, what I always use is this pliers. That's what it's made for. I took out two on the inner splash shield on the front here a bit ago. That was awful to get these to come out. I wanted to just get out a pair of dikes and cut these damn things off. Should just throw them away, but I guess we'll hold on to them in case we need them. All right. See, now that one came out really, really nice. So I'm guessing it's just because the ones up in that splash shield, they're probably compacted with sand and don't want to come apart, would be my guess. All right, that's a bolt that we need to find a Allen wrench for, and then that, I think, you know, do the other side and we should have this off. So I'll work on that and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so I would absolutely prefer to test these fuses with a voltmeter, but my voltmeter is in the other shop, I believe. So what I'm doing in here right now is I'm trying to figure out how to get the back fenders off when they decided to run a major portion of the wiring harness here. Let's see, I'll get you guys on that, sorry. Okay, right here, they ran this major portion of the wiring harness over the back fenders. So, yeah, it's things like that that kind of frustrate me with Honda, because that ain't how you do it. So, but anyway, that's just my opinion, and I should keep that to myself. But anyway, so here we've got an extra 30. So as you can see, possibly, if that would focus. Let's see. Where are you? There. All right, so there you can see that is a very good looking fuse. There's no corrosion at all. So there's a 10 millimeter, 10 amp, I'm sorry. I'm really not on my A game today. Just wore out. All right, so let's check this one. And that 30 amp is also good. That's great. Just want to check and see if, you know, maybe, SpaghettiOs. Let's see, let me get over here a little better so you guys can see that. Come on, focus camera. There, you guys can see that is a bad fuse. All right, yeah. So these along here, those are extra, as is this one here. So I guess I didn't really need to check those now, did I? But anyway, we'll replace that one. And now let's, we've got one more 10 here. Let's check that guy. And that is in good condition. And then we've got two 15s. And those would be for the fan and the lights. That one is good. And that one is good as well. Well, I'm just curious now. All right, now I'm going to turn the key on and let's see. Oh, darn it. Well, that's interesting. So I turned the key on, the neutral light and the oil light came on as they should, no reverse light. Then I heard a tick. And the reverse light came on instantly. So without even trying to start the vehicle, just turning the key to the on position, and we popped that fuse. All right, well, we probably have a problem then, huh? Would be my guess. So I've got a couple parts, so we'll work on that, see if we can accomplish anything. In the meantime, I need all of this nonsense to get out of the back fender, so I'm going to work on that for a minute. All right, so we've got our harnesses best taken apart here as we can. I should have no problems now getting the back fenders out of my way. Would be very nice. Oh yeah, all right, here we go. Pull that negative battery cable through. How about this? All right. So, let's take a peek here. And yeah, so you can see how dirty this is. And of course, it's supposed to be. It's an off-road machine. I would just love to see this all cleaned up. Wouldn't this machine look great, all cleaned up? I think so. I think so. And especially things like, you know, what we have here. This is, woo! That is so dry, dusty, bunch of ick. So, but anyway, yeah. This is looking better already. So now, hey, you know what, while we're here, why don't we take a good close look at our air filter and see what we have going on there. Let's see. Nice that all four hold downs are here, not broken off, as often you'll find. Oh, hey, that's not too bad. And it's mounted well, looks great. Boy, it sure does seem to stink of gas though. Yeah, wow, ooh, oof. Well, actually more of a polyurethane smell. So, yeah, boy, this thing I don't think is gonna run too well without maybe not parts, but a lot of TLC. That carburetor is so scuzzy dirty. There you go. So it looks to me like that's been leaking. Probably has a bad gasket somewhere. It's, I forget. I think this is 2002. So yeah, she's been around the block for a while. It's got the better part of 4,000 miles on it. So Yeah, I would imagine that carb is long overdue for some attention. Okay, so let's see. I guess what I'm going to go after now is going to be the front rack and plastics. So yeah, nothing too exciting there. But as I have progress, I'll be back and keep you guys updated. One of the parts I do have is that right there, the switch motor, or the shift motor, I'm sorry. And there's a switch just down below it, or you know, maybe I guess I'd call it a sensor, I'm sorry. So anyway, I think what I'm going to want to do is get this stripped down and all washed up nice and tidy before I go to change those parts. Always nicer to work on a clean machine. And I'll be back when I've got a little bit of something to show you. Well, I think I've got all the bolts out of the rack. Well, obviously it's not here anymore. All the wiring disconnected, the headlight harness, the 12-volt accessory up here. I believe that's all gone. Disconnected, I should say. I cannot get... There we go. All right. The part up over the gas tank, I couldn't get that to disconnect from the left side, the driver's side front fender here, so. All right. So, I'll turn the camera over here. So, there's the bottom side. I think both of the headlights are open like you see there. I'm not sure why that would be. That seems kind of odd. I did not, I should have. I did not check to see if the lights work. But we'll find that out on another day, I suppose. All right, now we can get a look at what there is to look at here. So, you know, just generally really, really dirty. It's, I don't know, all of that stuff. I mean, that looks like a bird's nest down there. I don't know, kind of like this was used on a farm to, you know, just run around from field to field, or, you know, hauling hay, things like that. So, just general duty farm use is what it appears to be. I don't know that. I think Ray's got a better idea of the history of this machine, whether, you know, how it may or may not have been used. So anyway, I guess the next logical step would be to get it outside and get it sprayed off. So, and I would imagine that is a great opportunity for me to drive that sweet baby over yonder. Man, is that a sweet ride. Okay, so anyway, yeah. Well, I'll get the front tire back on this side here, and I don't know. You know, I think I might leave it on the cart. I think I'll do that. Yeah. All right. Well, anywho, I'll be back with you folks when we've got a nice, clean looking machine here. You know, I mean, relatively speaking, I'm not going to hand scrub or anything like that. No. All right. All right. Let's see now if we can't get this loosened up here. This shift motor. Alright, a little bit tight, but not too bad. Alright, that's loose. That's right, I got that one loose a long time ago, and I decided, yeah, I'm going to scrub this thing first. So, and I believe there should only be 2 bolts holding this on. Hope you guys can see okay. I know I need to address lighting. I'll get there. You guys keep liking and sharing and subscribing, and we'll all get there together, hey? All right. Now that's interesting. I see there's a clutch adjustment on the portion of the engine facing the front of the machine, however you want to call that, because the engine sits transversely. All right, there's that bolt. So I don't know if it means anything, but the gold one goes on the bottom and the silver one goes on the top. Let's see if we can keep it that way when we put it together. Or we'll just throw them on the floor and not worry about it. Okay, so does that come out of there? Okay. So now it feels like I'm getting held up by the wiring. So I'm gonna go around the other side and we'll see what does that look like. All right, so now we are looking right at, yeah, if you can see that tan electrical plug right kind of front and center there in the middle of the screen pretty much, that's the plug-in for the sensor that we have to replace. And then just to the right of that, that rusty piece of metal there, that is a guard protecting that sensor. Okay, I'm gonna see what I can do from this side so you guys can see, but I'll be working just by feel because I can't see anything here. Can you guys tell me hot or cold? There, I found it. Okay. There's the sensor. So you can see that the O-ring isn't there. I'm assuming it's stuck on the motor. Yeah, it is. All right, so now we can get a look at this and see what in the world does this plug want in order to let go. I still looking at it, it's not, I don't know. Huh. Yeah, it's not a great design. There we go. All right. So you got to press down here, and it acts like a teeter-totter and lifts up inside here and lets go of that little tab there. All right. So, well, otherwise, I guess I don't immediately see anything wrong with this. The connectors are all in good condition. There's no cracking on the backside here where you may have that happen. Everything looks good, but somebody's tripping the fuse, and I guess we'll figure out who that is eventually. All right, so now here we have our O-ring that came out of that, and you can see it's not really, it's not round, it's very flat. So getting rid of that is a good thing. Could that have caused this to get water in it and short out? Yes, maybe so. All right, so anyway, I've got to find this. It's going somewhere up here, the harness for the motor, for the shift motor. All right, okay, let's see, there's another zip tie holding me up. Okay, we got that out of the way. So now we can we can get this unplugged. Okay. Now let's see about getting the shift motor out of the motor, which looks like it's about ready to fall out. So, okay. All right. Well, sorry, kicked the tripod. So there's our motor. And again, I don't immediately see anything wrong with it. Most likely it's original. Let's go get the new one and we'll take a little look and compare the two. So, well, right off the bat here, the new one is here, and here's the old one. So the plugs are the same. The links look to be the same. And all right, so yeah, yep, they definitely compare. You know, they look the same. Okay, well, that's, I guess, all I can really tell you about that. So it definitely looks to be the correct part. So let's get to installing. All right, so here we've got our new switch. Everything looks good. One thing I do gotta say though is I wonder why the thingy in there is in a different position than the old one here. I don't know, but let's go ahead and start installing this. Wait a minute now. You can't just do that. Oh, boy. That's weird. So, where this goes in, there's a flat spot on that. I think it's a shaft that turns, and then that tells this what's going on. So I don't know, what do you do about that? I guess I'm gonna have to do some homework and figure that one out. Okay, so here you'll see we've got our battery all hooked back up. So it was the ignition fuse that popped. I took the accessory fuse and put it in there, and then I'll have to run and get more 10 amp minis if I pop this one. So let's turn the ignition key and let's listen for a pop. Oh, yep, instantly. Wow. Yeah, this machine seems to have a problem. Yeah. Okay. And not sure what to tell you on that. I've never really worked on a Honda other than a 185S. I'm not complaining, just saying. Let's see here. Well, let's pull that fuse back out. Yeah, that popped even faster than it did last time, which is interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it blew it apart. I know I did see something that should never occur. There's no excuse for it, if you ask me. But somebody put a Scotch lock. So that needs to come out, be removed. That we can't wire like that. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect that mistake. Right there, yep. And we'll pull that Scotch lock off completely. If I can get a grip on it. All right. So now we can open that up. It's hard to open up. Oh, yeah. I've done this plenty of times. Oh, boy. All right. So it mangled the snot out of that nice wire pretty good. So anyway, yeah, we'll get that out of there. You can't be doing that. There's I mean it's this thing is soaked. I'm sorry, that's like jammed right in the camera's face. But yeah, there's no way to keep water out of this. So yeah, that's why we just don't want to do that. If you ever see that, remove it. So we'll pull that wire back up. So that is for heated handlebar grips, and they're in really bad condition. So that stuff can come out. But I do not see any other problem with the wiring harness. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in these new parts and just see what the machine has to say about it, though them being unplugged couldn't possibly cause me to be popping fuses. So not quite sure what in the world the answer is going to be to this one, but okay, so that new motor is plugged back in. I'm going to plug in this, well, basically what this is a gear position sensor. It tells the machine what gear it's in, which we're having a problem with. So you'd think that this would be the right thing to install, or, you know, right direction to go in. Okay, well, I guess what I'm gonna have to do, folks, is step away here. I gotta go find myself some fuses, and I don't know that I've got any around in this building here, so. Okay, so let me show you what we're doing here. Now, this is the wire. I'm gonna zoom in on that. This is the wire that got hacked by the Scotch lock. This goes directly up to the ignition switch. So we might have a problem there. I don't know. Okay, sorry, I had to adjust the camera. Okay, so I don't believe the problem we're having here has anything at all to do with why it won't shift. I got a hard time believing that it does. All right, so this one here gets a 10. This one here gets a 15. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. All right, what'd I do with my pliers? Oh boy. Let's see, so no, I don't need a 15. I need 2 more 10s is what I need. Well, I don't have very many of those. All right, so I'm going to replace the spare that I used, and I'm going to replace the other 10 that I blew up in the testing process. So, all right. And let's see that. Yeah, that's all the 10s that I've got. I harvested quite a few from an old F-150. Okay. So I guess I don't know what to do now that I don't have an ignition switch, because I'm not sure what do you do when the second you turn on the ignition switch you have an instant short. I guess I'm not sure why I'm even recording, basically to show you guys that I replaced the fuses, right? Yeah, I don't know what to do from here, so I'm gonna just stop. Well, good morning, all you Honda guys. All right, sorry about the barking. All right, so here we have a shock and coil which we've disassembled for our 350 Rancher that we're restoring. So that's going to look really nice. Yeah, it came really nice and clean. The bushings look really good. No problems there. It's not an Arctic Cat. If this were, we'd be replacing those, that's for sure. All right. So now here we have a rack off of our 350D. That machine, we're going to just be referring to it as, you know, the D. So we've got real serious corrosion pitting. So that's going to be a lot of work to get that rack cleaned up. And I got to say, when I went to sandblast this, I was shocked that this thing was powder coated. I didn't know powder coating existed in 1987. Must have been a fairly new thing. I don't know. News to me. Okay, so with that being said, sandblasting doesn't really work that great. It's not a good option. I don't really know of many good options. So I got a wild hair in my, you know, and so I had a little box of brush, little small pine sticks and whatnot, and I thought, well, that should burn nice and hot in a short-term fire, not nothing real big. And you know, I was really cautious to be rotating everything while I had it laying in the bed of coals. And then it got rained on over the weekend because I couldn't be here to work on it. But who cares? It's getting sandblasted. These are the racks off of the Rancher 350. As you can see, they're crispy. And that rotten old stuff is going to blast off really nice. Now, yes, of course, powder coat's a lot superior to paint, but all of this stuff was in really bad shape. And I mean, it just had to be replaced. So, and I'm not going to powder coat. We're self-funded here. We gotta keep cost in mind. And gosh, even paint is expensive nowadays. But anyway, so I just wanted to touch bases with you guys quick to show the process of, well, hello there. How are you? You checking out my work or what? You supervisor today, Bindi? That's funny. All right, I just wanted to show you guys the process that I'm taking to get things looking good here again. And I'll join you again when I'm getting things cleaned up. I'll probably show you the process of repairing the pitting on these older 350D racks. So anyway, all right, we'll catch you later. Well, good morning, everybody. So we've got our racks here. I just wanted to get you guys an update here quick. So a couple days ago we sandblasted these, and now let's start with the back rack. All right, so I'm not sure if we had shown you that you know, this seems to happen to a lot of machines. You know, you got the little hoop bar that goes up here, and people like to I don't know what, like try to pull semis out with those. I don't know what happens to them, but they're always bent. Anyway, I tried to straighten it, and it just wasn't going to pan out, and so we decided to just forego and part ways with that fella. So I cut it off, and you know, we look really good here. No real issues there. But they have a hole here so that air can flow inside that pipe and not trap water, or trap air. I mean, because if you trap air, water is in the air, and pretty soon you're going to have a buildup of water and a constant seeping of rusty water, and it just never looks good. So they've got a hole there so that doesn't happen. And since we were making the back rack flat, we thought we'd go ahead and might as well do it to the front. There was no damage to it, but what's the sense in flattening the back rack and leaving that hoop on the front? All right, so went ahead and welded that shut. I really should have used some anti-spatter spray, but it's in the other shop, and I'd rather grind it off than go home. So we'll take care of that. Now, I guess if I was going hog wild on this machine, which I'm not, I would really clean up these racks. Like, it's not welded in there. That to me is not acceptable. And boogery welds, really not a beautiful rack. But I might clean those up just a little bit, but I'm not going to get serious about it. This one here was really bad. So I ground on that just a little bit. It might not look great, but believe it or not, it looks a lot better. So anyway, I got to get the air compressor going, and I'll just grind that weld off and make sure that's good. Then in a while here, I'll get back to the other shop, and I can start the priming and painting process. So anyway, I think that flat rack looks good. That'll be nice. And you know, because really I was faced with gonna have to buy a parts machine to get another rack, because I couldn't straighten that bent pipe. So this is so much easier, and by the end of the day these will be painted. So fantastic. All right, well, thanks for joining me on this little segment here, and we will be back shortly. Now we are here working on our what is this? TRX 350 FM, I think? I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm learning this Honda stuff, so bear with me, you guys. Just remember, I love my 350D. I mean, being a Yamaha guy, I love that four-wheeler, that Honda. I love it, and I grew up on a 185. Literally, there's that beautiful D, and I love my 185. It'll get there one day, you guys. Just stick with us. I promise this stuff will get there. You know, kind of like that gorgeous KLT. Oh man, look at that Moto 4. Dang, that Grizzly, I really got to put some time into that. Not much, and it's ready to go, and it's gorgeous too, by the way. All right, so this is our Rancher. We're going to call it the V. Yes. So the 87 is the D, and this is the V. Yeah, all right. So we are going to take a 12 millimeter socket. So instead of going 3/8, I went full on 1/2 inch, and let's okay, so the threads look good. It was just really grumpy, really grumpy. And there went that bolt. That's great. All right, so that's out. Now I'll zoom out. I'm gonna go around to the other side here. And we'll take out that bolt. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get ourselves a peek at this basher, front bumper, whatever. All right, so we've got one dent here. Pretty easy to fix. So what I thought was a dent there is the same spot on that side. Right there, you can see it. Yeah, right there, you can see both of them. Right here. All right, so that I would have to say is a manufacturing characteristic, I would say, not a defect. We also have a dent here, and now that one matches that one, so that tells me we probably bumped into something that was maybe a log going across. But we can fix that, not a big deal. I guess it's kind of incredible that the paint is still on the very bottom of that. That's normally weeds and grass, you're always riding through that stuff. That kind of always polishes off that paint. Kind of surprised that's in good condition, and in good condition on the backside here as well. Yeah, there is no corrosion on this, so that's great. I will correct these dents here. I think everything looks good that way, symmetrical, not like it's warped out of the point of repair. So fabulous. We'll get that cleaned up, blasted, repair the dents, blasted, painted, and make it look brand new. Okay, so now we should probably put our bolts back in place. Yeah, see, these threads are super dry and crunchy. Oh boy. Yeah, they're pretty. Well, actually, this is the bolt that's supposed to go in there. Yeah, it's such grumpy threads in there. I can hardly get that to there we go. All right. I can hardly get that to start again. All right, so now I don't know if I can I can't get in there to take that off. All right, let's take a shot at getting the little axle protectors out of here. All right, that's out. So again, I really like the product that WD makes and that penetrates. All right. So this is an easy. Oh God, I never realigned or changed the camera. All right. So this is a really nice system that Honda has. So this goes over the top of the A-arm and bolts in on the bottom side, and then it also catches the front facing bolt hole. So if that makes sense. All right. So kind of a nice design. It's simple, and it does a good job easily. So. All right, so pretty quick here, what will be, not today, but pretty quick, we'll be looking at trying to get these brakes apart. So this is locked up tight. I can't move it at all. I remember trying to push this machine. It took a whole lot of effort. So I got a feeling we're we're facing a bit of an issue there. We're gonna go ahead and take this bolt that mounts that axle protector and we're gonna run that back in. Can't do it left-handed because I'm not left-handed. Can't do it right-handed because I'm not right-handed. All right, there we go. So again, we find ourselves farm material, but I was told this machine was never on a farm. That isn't true. So anyway, yeah, this side moves really nice, no issues. So the ball joints aren't bad, but by all means, while we've got it apart, we're gonna put new ball joints in it. And hey, I never asked you guys, pardon me for being so rude, but what do you think of that shock? So I've disassembled it, sandblasted it, repainted it, the absorber and the spring, and I love that color combo. What do you guys think? Please put it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys what you think of my designs. Not that it's going to change much of what I'm doing, because I think that's awesome, and I hope you guys do too. Anyway, all right, so how do we get to, I can't use the impact to get the bottom mount here off of the frame to get the front bumper off because the A-arm is in the way. Let's see, let me move so you guys can see that. There we go. All right, right down there, looking right at that fella. Okay, let me get some 3/8 tools and then we'll get that off. Because I'm guessing that's over the head of 1/4 inch. Well, that's interesting. I didn't expect that, my goodness. So let's try the other side. All right, now I've noticed here we need to remove the axle guard in order to fit a 3/8 ratchet in there to get that lower bolt out. So let's go ahead and move over. We'll grab our impact driver and we will get that removed. All right. All right, that's out. All right, so I'll get the bolts put back. Gosh. All right, get that in, got that in. All right, so now such a tight joint. All right, anyway, so now we'll go ahead and take our 3/8 ratchet with a 12mm. And yeah, that came out nicely. Now, we'll go ahead and grab our big impact And we're going to go ahead and remove that front bumper then. Yeah, all right. Okay. And there we go. So, now let's go ahead and take a peek at our front bumper here. That seems to be in awfully good condition. You can see here it's been pushing on something a little bit maybe, but I don't think it dented the pipe on either side. So there is literally no damage to this other than, I mean, the powder coat is like really trashed. But I mean, it's what, 23 years old? To be expected. So, all right, well, that's looking really good. Now, this is definitely going to be powder coat. I see we've got some slag from welding and the same over here. So we'll grind that junk off and make things, yeah, there's some here too. We'll make that look a little bit better. I'm not going after crazy, just wanna, yeah, there's more slag here. Oh God, look at the great big chunk of slag there. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a huge chunk of slag. We don't want that. That shouldn't be there. So we'll grind stuff like that off. But now what I'll be doing is running myself a little fire on the ground, and I'm gonna boil off this powder coat, because this part here is powder coated. But yeah, we're gonna burn that off so that then we can blast it and prepare the metal for the best paint job that we can provide. We aren't going to, you know, we don't have the money to be powder coating everything we want to redo. And that's all right. You know, I mean, this is a budget kind of gig, the same as I'm sure a lot of you guys are. So I don't really want to show you a bunch of stuff that, set that down. You know, I don't really want to show you guys a bunch of stuff that you can't afford to do yourselves. There's no reason we can't make things look really great, you know, on you know, $100 or less, you know, with some Rust-Oleum paint, and make it look great. So we're all here to do the best we can, and you know, not outspend one another. That's not what we're here for. So anyway, in a few days, we're going to attack this machine, get new axles in it, new ball joints. I believe the tie rod ends are good. We've got new brakes coming. I'm not sure what this machine needs brake-wise, because like I say, the driver's side front brake is locked up tight. But anywho, I'm gonna clean things up here, put things back where I need them, and then we're gonna jump over there and get back to work on the D and try to get that carburetor out. All right, we'll be back in a little bit.